Hey, welcome to our HRM meeting. My name is Niels Boerema, and I would like to introduce the rest of the group. We start with Alexis.
Hi, I'm Alexis.
Hubert.
Hello.
Patrick.
Hi.
And Serrano.
I am Serrano van Haarlem.
We're going to start off this workshop with an icebreaker. It's called Would You Rather, as you can see on the screen. And there's a few questions we have. Would You Rather is usually done on camps and stuff like that. But now it's for the workshop. So the first question is going to be, let me post it here. Would you rather only have summer or winter for the rest of your life? And we start with Alexis.
Ooh, summer.
And why?
Because everyone's happier in the summertime.
Good one. Hubert?
I would say a winter, because I like to ski and like the mountains view.
Good one. Patrick?
I would have to agree with Hubert because I also really like winter sports. So I would also go for winter.
And Serrano?
I would go for summer. I like wearing like t-shirts and shorts and just swimming. You can do that in winter.
Okay, I got another question for you all. Would you already go on a hike or see a movie? And we'll start with Alexis.
Go on a hike.
And why?
Because I think being outside makes me happier than sitting in the dark.
Hubert?
I would rather to see a movie because I'm kind of lazy person, so I prefer to stay at home.
Patrick?
It would depend on what movie it is. If it's a movie that I really want to see, then a movie. But otherwise, I'll just rather go hiking.
And Serrano?
I'd rather see a movie, I guess. I like watching movies. I have cinema pass, so I go like once a week. Yeah, see a movie.
Okay, I got another question. Would you rather never use social media sites or apps again, or never watch another movie or TV show again?
Oh, easy.
We start with Alexis.
Never use social media sites and apps again.
And why?
Because I don't really use it anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Hubert?
I would say the same. I mean, I've never used Twitter, so, and yeah.
Okay, Patrick?
I would rather never use social media again. I don't really do anything with social media anyway, so I wouldn't really mind.
And Serrano?
Same thing, never social media. I mean, I use it, but I hate it, so.
Okay, it's an easy one. This is the last question. Would you rather have a horrible short-term memory or a horrible long-term memory? So with a short-term memory, you can't remember things that you just said, or you can't remember things that happened in the past. I'll start with Alexis.
I already have horrible short-term memory, so I'll take that because I do that anyways.
Hubert?
I would say long-term memory, because yeah, you can just write it down and you will remember it anyways.
Oh, that's a good one. So just live in the moment.
Yep.
Good one.
Patrick?
I'll have to agree with Hubert because he's got a good point. You can write it down and remember for the long term, but in short term, you can't write down anything that you do need to remember. So yeah, I have to agree with Hubert.
Good one. Serrano?
I would rather have a bad short-term memory.
And why? Just the same as...
Yeah, I already have good long-term memory and a bad short-term memory, so I'm fine with it.
Okay, thank you guys for participating in the icebreaker. Now we go on to the PowerPoint. Now we go on to the real business. Sustainability and definition. Sustainability focuses on meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their needs. The concept of sustainability is composed of three pillars: economic, environmental, and social, also known as informally as profits, planet, and people, the three Ps. Companies are focusing on reducing their carbon footprints, packaging waste, water usage, and their overall effect on the environment. Companies have found that this has a beneficial impact on the planet and can also have a financial impact. Because when companies have a green image, more people tend to go for that company instead of the other company. The social pillar. Sustainable business should have the support and approval of its employees, stakeholders, and the community it operates in. The approaches to securing and maintaining the support are various, but it comes down to treating employees fairly and being a good neighbor and community member, both locally and globally. The economic pillar. To be sustainable, a business must be profitable. That said, profit cannot trump the other two pillars. In fact, profit at any cost is not at all what the economic pillar is about. Activities that fit under the economic pillar include compliance, proper governance, and risk management. While these are already table stakes for most North American companies, they are not globally yet. Sustainability in everyday life. In our day-to-day, we face small actions that have an impact on the environment and in our pocket. At home, at work, in the streets, shopping, cooking, in our leisure time. Almost all the activities that we develop in a normal day are likely to be made in the least harmful way to the environment and less costly to the domestic economy. In the video I'm going to show you guys, we have compiled 5 of these common situations in which we can choose a more sustainable choice. Thank you guys for watching the video. Right now we're going to go to Alexis, which is going to explain to you guys a pretty fun game about sustainability.
Our next sustainability game gets employees quick on their feet thinking about the sustainability of their daily use items. The game requires players to choose between 3 bins: sustainable, mediocre, sustainable, or unsustainable. The objective of the game is for the player to put the product in the right bin. Therefore, the player chooses if the product is sustainable, mediocre, sustainable, or unsustainable. Points are scored when the player puts the product in the appropriate bin.
So, hi guys, my name is Patrick, and I'll be guiding you through the game today. Now, as my colleague already said, this game is classifying everyday objects in terms of sustainability. I would like to ask every participant to take a random item that can be described on a sustainable level and then classify them in one of the three bins. For example, I have a reusable plastic bottle, which is moderately sustainable to me as it is reusable, but it's still made out of plastic. After everyone has introduced their product, we will go by every participant to give their reasoning after in which one of the three boxes they will put the product. After that, everyone will go into the discussion, and if everyone agrees with the person, then that person will get a point. The person with the most points at the end of the game will win the game. I would like everybody to get a random object and think about what sustainability class they would like to classify it in. And then the game will resume in 4 to 5 minutes. The first person is going to start with their objects that they have chosen. Alexis, please.
My first item would be this textile pen.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to decide if it were sustainable, mediocre, sustainable, or unsustainable, I'd say that it's unsustainable because the felt tip probably can't be reused.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be thrown away, and this seems like plastic that can't be used again anyways.
Okay, that's a good reasoning. I'm behind that. I would agree with Alexis.
So she said non-sustainable.
She said that it is indeed non-sustainable, yeah.
Okay, I also agree with Alexis.
Does everybody agree?
Yep.
Then Alexis gains her first point. Next person, Niels, please introduce your first item.
My first item is mandarin, and I think it is very sustainable because if you throw it on the street, it will dissolve. It's a natural product, and I hope you guys agree with me because I really need the points.
Is there any other thing that you will find why a mandarin is sustainable? Maybe you can think of things like water usage per mandarin. Like, for example, you have meats that have like, I know that cow's meat needs 40,000 liters per kilogram of meat to be produced. And I can think that mandarins and all other fruits are probably not in need of that much. So that could also be a way that it is sustainable for our planet because we don't have to use a lot to actually consume it. I do have to agree with Niels that it does dissolve on the ground. So
My final thing is that's sustainable, but I don't know about the water usage. So maybe you guys have to vote on it.
I want to add something because usually when you buy mandarins, you buy them in a big net, right?
Ooh,
Those ropes are probably plastic, right?
that's
Yeah.
true.
Is
That's
it
a good
plastic?
one.
Ooh, that's plastic, so I would say
Yeah, you also see like fishes and birds in the plastic, right?
Yeah. So I would say after what I've heard that it's mediocre sustainable. So it's not fully sustainable.
I'd say the same thing.
Okay.
Yep.
So sorry, Niels, we cannot give you
0
the point.
point.
Ooh,
Okay, next person, Cyrano, please introduce your first item.
I have my Jean Paul Gaultier. It's a fragrance. It's a bottle of perfume.
Mhm.
Oh man, I would actually say this is not sustainable. It's made of glass in here,
Mhm.
and it uses plastic.
Mhm.
And there's like it comes in kind of like a paper cartonish box. I
Mhm.
would say this is not sustainable for the environment.
So Cyrano says that it's unsustainable. Does anyone disagree with
I
Cyrano?
disagree
Yeah, me too.
Niels disagrees, and
Yeah.
Hubert also. Please state why.
because right now you can divide the glass so it gets recycled, and the plastic is
Mhm.
like just a small thing, but it can also be recycled. So I think it's mediocre sustainable.
Hubert?
Yeah, I would also say that it's mediocre sustainable because it's like the package is a bottle, so it's a glass, and it also can be just a plastic bottle.
I would have to agree with both Niels and Hubert on this one. So I would also have to say that it's mediocre sustainable.
Mediocre is sustainable seems right to me too.
So sorry, Cyrano. Also no point for you. Hubert?
So I picked a pack of candies, and I think they are completely unsustainable because each candy is wrapped in a plastic package.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have like 30 pieces of candies in one bag, you have almost have exactly 30 small pieces of plastic. So
Okay.
instead of having all those candies in one package, they are just packed separately, which is completely unsustainable.
I would have to completely agree with Hubert. Sorry, my bad.
Mhm.
Anyone that
Unfortunately, me too. Yeah.
So everybody agrees?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's Hubert's first point.
Hooray.
So we've had everyone now. So we're gonna do another round because we still have a bit of time left. So Alexis, please, your second item.
My second item today is a pair of Ray-Bans, Ray-Ban sunglasses. And if I had to make an educated guess, I would say that they are sustainable because you could reuse the metal and the glass you could probably also reuse. And this plastic you can also reuse, like melt it down.
Okay. Does anyone disagree? I think it's mediocrely sustainable because it still has some forms of plastic in it. But yeah, it's hard to say where the line is between sustainability and mediocrely sustainable because they're both sustainable, but you know, there's no clear line. So I can't be the judge of that. If everyone else agrees with Alexis, then I'll just give her the point. Yeah. Okay. So that's Alexis' second point. Okay, Niels, please introduce your second item.
I got a pair of shoes over here, and I think they're not sustainable because it's a lot of leather and plastic and rubber and stuff like that. So if I throw it out on the street, it won't dissolve. Nobody will take care of it. So that's my opinion about it.
Is there anybody that disagrees?
Nope.
Me neither. I would say that Niels is very right.
Probably where the country where this is produced also has a lot of garbage waste from making this product. So that's also something I want to add.
It's probably also not sustainable for their workers. So that's also from another perspective that it's not sustainable. So I do think that Niels will score a point on this one. Yeah.
My first point.
Okay, Cyrano, second item.
Okay, so what I have is a kitchen sponge. So mediocre sustainable.
Okay.
Because like sponges used to be made like from sea sponges. But now this is synthetic material, polyester, I guess. I would say it's mediocre sustainable. It's not like the worst for the environment, but it's not biodegradable. It's not natural.
So you're really comparing other options to this specific option, which I think I have to agree with Cyrano that it is mediocrely sustainable.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, everyone agrees. Okay, Cyrano's first point, if I'm not first point if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Hubert, your last item.
Yeah, so my second and last item is just a notepad, and I'm a little bit confused because nowadays we can just use Word documents and type on our laptops. However, this notepad has a special sign that is made from recycled paper. So to me, it's using a notepad is mediocre sustainable because we can just use a digital version of it and we don't have to use it. But of course, in some cases, it's just a must-have.
I disagree.
I have to agree with Hubert actually that it is mediocrely unsustainable.
I disagree.
Please, Niels, elaborate.
Because it's made of recycled paper, so it is sustainable. And if you compare it to the notepad, you have to buy a notepad which contains toxins, it contains plastic, it contains metals, all stuff like that. So I think the notepad is sustainable, and the other thing that you compare it is not sustainable.
Okay. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. Anyone else that has a comment to add?
Yeah, I would say it's sustainable.
Okay.
Actually, because I think at this point it's something that could be really easily recycled, even if maybe it isn't. Then yeah, I think it's something that could very easily be recycled because it's like a two-part object. So.
Okay.
Yeah, because this object has only like a metal scrolls here, and the rest is basically paper. There's no plastic.
Paper and carton, yeah.
Anywhere, yeah.
Okay, so I can see that everyone's really has divided opinions on this one. So no point, but a good discussion from it. So that's what we got. we have Alexis that has won this competition or game. It's okay. Okay, so thank you very much for interacting and listening to the game. And I will now give the word to Cyrano.
So I made a Kahoot quiz. So we have 4 participants. If you could all enter the game pin, you can see it here down on the screen. 390166. After each question, I'm gonna explain the answers.
Ooh, are we ready? Which method?
Ooh. I'm gonna say equal amount, I think. Oh.
Oh, so 2 people said by hand. Only 1 dishwasher and equal amount. Okay, so yeah, the dishwasher is much more water efficient than doing it by hand, especially because most people leave the tap open when they wash their dishes. The only exception is when you have a dishwasher made before 1994. Oh, that's really old. But those use up more water than washing by hand. But like all modern sink washers, dishwashers are more water efficient than washing it by hand.
Okay, I actually did not know that. That's a really nice fact. Thank you.
So it's a good investment because it saves you water. Also for your water bill, it's good for the environment, and it's less work. So if you have the money, buy a dishwasher.
Okay, great.
Next question.
Okay, here we go. Oh,
Oh,
you were on the lead.
Yay.
Sustainability and sustainable development are the same thing.
Oh, never mind. I thought I lagged out. This one's hard.
There are also some easy questions in, don't worry.
Hope so.
Yay!
Hey, I got it. Nice.
Okay, everyone. So, sustainable development is like a principle for developing human development. So there's sustainability, but also like goals for reducing, improving living standards and human rights.
So sustainability is basically the act of being sustainable, and sustainable development is basically the development of the sustainability.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is sustainability the result of sustainable development?
No, sustainable development is much broader than sustainability. So sustainable development is like a principle for human development, like more human rights, better living standards, and also doing that in a sustainable manner.
So in essence, Alexis is right? That sustainable development does increase sustainability.
Yeah, it does.
But it's not the only
thing. It's not the result of.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Sustainable development is much broader in this sense. So they're not synonyms, but they're closely related.
Understood.
No.
Mr. Sustainable is not so sustainable at the moment.
Energy.
Oh, that's a typo. Just ignore that. It's supposed to be energy.
I don't know.
Oh, wrong screen.
Ooh, okay, you guys were right. So I'm not sure if you know them all by heart because you have 19 of these goals, and we actually had to learn them for school. We also did for one of our subjects. But yeah, there is no goal for sexual freedom. There is one for gender equality. I think there were like drafted in the 90s and 80s, and sexual freedom was also less big on the agenda then. So yeah, it's just explanation. There's no good reason for it not being on there, but it would fit in the same kind of topics as there are on it. Oh, you were just on a streak.
Ooh. Okay, next one.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would better to. The question should actually be which is the most eco-friendly, but it's kind of the same thing.
Say either or, it's fine. In English, it's okay.
Nah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
What type?
Yes.
Ooh, someone said plastic.
Yeah, I misunderstood the question.
Okay. So yeah, plastic is like the worst one for the environment.
The least one.
The least one. Paper is better than plastic, of course. And a reusable tote is just a reusable bag that you always have with you. So that is the best one for the environment. So yeah, that scores higher than both plastic and paper.
Yeah.
All three are not eco-friendly. Ooh. Who answered that?
That was me.
Could you elaborate why?
Look, I got one.
Well, I was thinking more like as a reusable tote that it still needs to be made, like in like let me put it this way: you might as well just take a bag from home, right? That's more eco-friendly than having to buy a bag, and then if you forget one, you also have to re-buy the bag. You know, even if it's a reusable bag, you still have to buy it if you like forget it or if you need a bag at the store. So that's why I thought you might as well just get you might as well just take a bag from home yourself, and then just fill it up with all the things you need from the store and just walk out, you know, not without paying, of course, but like you get the idea. I know I said that kind of weirdly, like just walk out, but I hope you guys get what I mean.
This bag said that it's made from biologic cotton. I don't know if you can see it.
Organic.
Organic.
I get your train of thought, but I would like to add that a reusable tote, you can just use it as a bag, and you still have to buy a bag. So
that's exactly, yeah, that's true.
Really
so yeah,
what kind of bag, yeah, but it's a good explanation.
Okay.
Ooh. That's gonna be.
So this is like this
Don't
are not
Google, guys. No Google.
Don't Google.
Don't Google that.
These are not exact numbers. I understand,
they're
right? Okay.
What?
Oh, really? 10?
Yeah,
That's more than I
10%.
thought.
Yeah, so you're quite pessimistic about this. We have 10% of the energy from renewable sources. One person said 20, yeah, so it's less than that, unfortunately. I don't have much more to add, so we can go to the next question.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, but this is a tricky one, because is the device still plugged in or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's what I wanted to say. If an appliance is still plugged in, it still uses energy.
Yeah.
That's of course different when you have something running on batteries or your phone. But if you have a device or appliance plugged in, even if it's turned off, it still uses energy. But you all had this question good, so we can go to the next one.
Yes. Oh wow.
Mm.
$100 towel. Like a bath towel?
You know, like the rolling towels that you can
Yeah,
like
like,
roll
yeah.
out when you like wash your hand after you wash your hands.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's freaking out.
Yeah.
I never use them. I just use my pants.
Okay.
I feel like there's germs on them.
Yeah, I don't think they're very oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's another reason not to use them, I guess.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate? Because I would like to know why.
That's a good question, actually. I guess they're just not recycled and used.
Yeah, so it's from
People use more of them than just because when you have a piece of paper, you just grab one piece of paper, and we have a lump
I
of
honestly
towel.
I don't just grab one, I just grab like
Like a
several.
packet.
yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, I think a logical explanation for this would be that the paper is much more thicker and therefore it's like not as greatly recyclable as paper towels, because paper towels like a thin piece of paper, you know, it can get recycled into a lot of things. And I think that if the paper's a lot thicker, it's therefore a lot harder to recycle.
Are the paper towels also made of recycled paper already?
Some are, yeah. I've seen,
some are,
because I had to do like last year with our CCE, I think, like the company and stuff. We were looking at recycled paper, and there were indeed recycled paper towels.
Mm.
Okay, so let's go to the next one.
This is not a trick question, by the way. It's just a curveball.
Eh?
Does not lower your carbon footprint.
But
Okay.
no answer, right?
I'm curious. Did you not read the not part, or?
Does not lower your carbon footprint. Yeah, if you're already carpooling, then and you keep carpooling, then you're not lowering the footprint, right?
hey, this is a topic of double negatives. This is not about sustainability. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a point, because it's just a double negative. People misunderstood the question, and
Double negative. So
Yeah.
Okay, did you just misunderstand to the double negative?
I think that was the case, yeah. Because
to do a double negative, by the way, it's just that people have to be able to get it.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Let's
just
go to the next one. Let's just
Yeah.
continue.
there's no explanation needed. Just to read the question like 3 times.
The least amount of water.
So yeah,
shower.
it's the least amount. Oh, yeah, a power shower is having the shower on, so you use less water and it's like more concentrated, like spray of water on you.
Mm.
Someone explain
This one,
what a power shower is.
Sorry?
Someone explain to me what a power shower is.
I just explained. So when you have the power and you have the shower, and you turn like the shower head, so that the blasts like harder on you. That's a power shower.
Who would want that? That's so painful.
it's actually quite nice if you have a good shower.
My shower head sits above me. I don't
But
have
this
a-
one's also kind of tricky because it really takes you have to take into account how much your shower actually uses. So if you have a shower that's on for 5 minutes, that uses a lot of water, then it's going to be less sustainable than filling a bath in like 3 minutes and then bathing in it, right? Because if you fill the bath in 3 minutes with the same amount of water flowing, then that's more sustainable because you have only 3 minutes of water than taking a normal shower for 5 minutes because you have 5 minutes of water flowing.
30 minutes to run sometimes.
Yeah, it's technically,
Yeah.
but
So
I'm not sure if there are any baths that can be filled in like
3 minutes.
in
Yeah,
such
okay.
amount of time. So yeah,
Yeah.
these are averages, of course, but
Yeah.
let's say you have a shower head that's this big, you have
Mm.
like a bath this small, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. True. I mean, it's
We're
maybe
not
a bit
going
of an
for-
exaggeration on my part.
Okay,
but it's
We're going now for
Doesn't
the
matter.
weighted average, but
Literally,
it is a point to be made, of course.
okay.
can we not with like the random talk? Like I have to edit all this out, you guys.
Oh, no, you have to leave it in because it's a discussion, right? It's a workshop.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
really?
no random talk.
Oh,
So only this you have to edit it out.
fine, sorry.
Okay, on to the next question. The worst.
For the environment. Oh yeah,
Mm.
and then it's of course if you eat it and have it in the grocery store, so not the animal itself, but
Yeah.
okay, you all know this, like
And we got it with ethics, right? Or
yeah, we got
Yeah,
it
I've
with
seen- yeah.
large
This is coming
use
back.
so much water for beef production, way more than for fish, chicken or cheese.
Chicken is up there as well.
Chicken is up there as well, yeah, with
But beef
less
is-
amount than beef.
Yeah, beef's a lot.
the fish lives in the water, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
put it like that. Next question.
damn.
Alexis is gonna win 2 games in a row.
She.
Highest environmental impact.
Oof.
Big oof.
And
To
this
be-
is also
yeah,
on average.
To be honest, all of them have some environmental impact, right?
Yeah, but which
Yeah,
one is the
and
highest?
this is also, by the way, on average per person.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's a plane.
I would still say it's meat.
My dad's a pilot. He said that his plane burns like a gallon of fuel per hour, which would
Yeah.
not per hour, per second.
Yeah.
Which basically like 2 liters
Mm-hmm.
at least
Flying by plane. Yeah.
per
Yeah,
second.
but also you're not flying alone. You are just flying with like 100 people, right?
Yeah, but still, your carbon footprint from flying. You. Oh. Okay.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of water, like I said, it was on average. The carbon footprint you leave is much bigger, the environmental footprint also. And it's also because people, like the average person, flies like 1 to 3 times a year.
Mhm.
And you have
And they are
plane-
consuming meat every
200.
day almost, yeah.
most people on average eat meat every day.
Okay.
So
I have read different things, but okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Last question, right?
Last question, guys.
Hybrid cars are less safe and slower than regular cars.
Easy.
Yeah.
Well,
Easy.
This is false, of course. This is something that you hear. This is also a reason that some people have to not buy a hybrid car, but this is not true at all. So,
They're saying like the car doesn't make any sound, right? That you can't hear it coming. If I'm correct. What-
Yeah.
have you guys ever seen that commercial with like the it was a Russian commercial? I don't know exactly what it was for, and it was it was about like an electrical car, and it was just this old lady just walking over the road, and you can see like her getting rammed by the car, like honestly, obviously like very fake, you know, like overly fake. And then their slogan was like, so good you can't even hear it and stuff. I was like, okay, you know, who comes up with this stuff? Like honestly, yeah, it was pretty weird.
Okay. Then we can go to the results.
Okay.
Nice.
Second place.
So.
Hey,
Just
Alexis is two of the games today.
Just a winner.
Okay, so that was our Kahoot. As you can see, Alexis won again.
Again, she's using Google.
Okay, so shall we have a quick break and then get back in like 2 minutes?
Okay, so today's our presentation contained at the beginning icebreaker. Then we had a small presentation made by Niels. After this presentation, we played a game, which was selecting two objects and then dividing it into sustainable, mediocre, sustainable, and unsustainable project. And at the end, we solved a Kahoot game made by Cyrano. And now, until the end of this this conversation, I would like to have an open conversation for 5 or 10 minutes. So feel free to grab a coffee or something to eat, and we're gonna discuss some free ideas.
I got water and chocolate. I maybe have a topic to start off with.
Yeah, that would be nice.
What do you guys think about like McDonald's and all the other fast food chains? Have like they use a lot of meat right now. It's unsustainable. But what do you guys think about meat replacers? It's not like real meat, but it has a lot of oils and stuff in it that's not like really organic and things like that. You guys still want to eat it, or?
I think it'd be a really good idea if we switched just our demand. Like if we just chose to purchase meatless meat over meat, even if it isn't as great right now, so we can fund the development of meatless meat. So it'll create more demand and the prices will drop and innovation will be higher. So I think it's worth that investment.
I have to agree with what Alexis is saying. Seeing that my dad is a vegetarian and my mom is a vegan, I do have to eat a lot of meat replacers and stuff like that. And this is exactly what I discussed this a lot with my parents as well. This is exactly what they say. Like we have to create a demand. We have to switch a demand from meat to meatless products, and let people see how unsustainable meat actually is, and let it be more of a luxury good as it was before. Because if we consume as much meat as we do right now, there's not going to be a lot of it left, and it's only going to skyrocket the price even further. So I think we really have to make the step to at least eating less meat and preferably switching it with the meatless other products. We have to do it as soon as possible.
But do you think that having a diet completely without meat is also a good way to
there has been a lot of research into meatless diets, and from almost all of these research, it has been confirmed that you don't need meat to have a good diet. You can replace everything you get from meats with mostly vegetables and other, plant protein, the plant protein burgers and stuff like that. So there are good replacements. I think there was one vitamin that you could not fully get, but I think that was when you were vegan instead of I'm not sure, but mostly for just vegetarians, so only not eating meat. It's pretty healthy. It really is.
What do you guys think about Kentucky Fried Chicken without real chicken?
That would be weird.
I wouldn't eat it personally because I love chicken, and I think that's great.
I mean, already the name is kind of misleading, so it
I
shouldn't
know
be named that way.
I know it exists, but I personally wouldn't eat it. Like, I like vegetarian and vegan food, but I like it more when it doesn't try to be like fake
Exactly.
meat. Or like vegan dishes don't have to be like meat replaces. You can have good dishes with just.
As economies grow, especially as economies escape the third world and develop more of a middle class, the demand for meat skyrockets. So whether or not you would rather it be a meat replacement or just a veggie dish of sorts, there's still a huge part of the population that wants meat, and I think we have to cater to that. So I think the KFC thing is a really good idea. I don't really care if it's trying to be meat or not. I think a chicken wing, not a real chicken wing, sounds weird, but I'm sure there are people that would be very excited about that.
Yeah. I got another thing to add. What do you guys think about lab-grown meat? It's still real meat, but it's grown in a lab.
I think that's really cool.
It's cool, but it's way too expensive now to be operational.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we have the technology and it's safe, I would be 100% behind it. But of course,
me as well.
Some people, might have concerns about just having something that's grown in a lab, just because it might not be safe. Yeah. But it would be the perfect replacement.
But it's the same thing, like what Cyrano's saying now, that it wouldn't be safe. It's kind of the same thing what people are having now with like the AI cars. You know, like the cars that drive themselves. Like people are all like skeptical about it, that it's not safe and stuff. Well, research actually showed that it is way more safe than an actual person driving, because a computer can't make mistakes if it's programmed well, right?
And so also the reaction times are way shorter than a human reaction time.
And I think that can also be applied to lab-grown meat, because if you have normal meat, you know, everyone knows normal meat. It's just like how do you say that? It's comfort for us, right? Normal meat. But if we get out of that comfort zone and do something that is lab grown, you know, people are going to have the misconception, okay, lab grown, it's probably full of stuff that shouldn't be in there. Well, it's basically just reproducing the cells that you've already had. So it doesn't really come with a lot of side effects.
Yeah, but religiously, a lot of people are not into the whole stem cell concept. So I think, especially people maybe escaping the third world economically, I don't think would be as on board with that as it maybe is in conflict with their religious beliefs. So that would be definitely catering to like an earlier adopter, something trendy and new rather than mainstream. But I think it being expensive kind of folds itself into a niche market anyways. But yeah.
Okay. So I had another topic to discuss. What do you guys think about making flying relatively more expensive and making it more of a luxury good again than it was before? Seeing that flying is very bad for the environment, that we could make like a sort of, you know, people have been talking about this, like a sort of flight tax, you know? What do you guys think about that?
I have people in my family that work for airlines, so I would not be into that. The airline industry is basically my livelihood. Tourism is basically my family's livelihood, so no, I would not be into that.
Yeah, I would. This is a very regressive tax, of course. Like, then you have only the rich people who can go on holidays and who can fly.
Yeah.
It's like people who are pro this are usually like more middle class, higher up types who can afford to go on vacation like 3 times a year. And then you have people who struggle to go on vacation 1 time a year, and then they can fly because someone who is more rich than them says, yeah, there has to be a flight tax.
And also, I think it's not the best idea, because what are the other options to go, for example, from America to Europe? I mean,
you can't.
Of course, you can try to take a ship into some harbor, but it will take months. And if we already invented planes, why shouldn't we use it?
Yeah, I think just maybe reduce certain flights. Just reduce flights from the Netherlands to Germany, for example, or for maybe interstate flights in some countries.
Yeah,
like ban
or push development on more eco-friendly planes.
Yeah, that's also.
Because I think aviation is a really cool thing, and I don't think that it should be like put in the corner because of because we can't do it right yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe
Maybe they can
say,
add,
sorry, yeah, Niels, proceed.
maybe they can add like a carbon tax, which is like only 1% of the total cost, and then the airline operator just plants trees from it, you know, in the Amazon rainforest and stuff like that.
That's a good idea, but I don't think that's going to be
room for corruption there, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So what you guys are saying is that you should leave aviation what it is, and that there's other ways to make it more sustainable than than a flight tax.
Yeah, I think lowering the barriers to entry in the airline industry, so making it less of like a cartel situation, would encourage a more eco-friendly experience.
And they're also developing electric planes right now. So maybe within 20, 30 years, we have electric planes.
Wow. That will be a huge jump in sustainability.
Oh, can I pose a question?
Of course.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the dropping oil prices?
Well, power, right?
What?
Dropping oil price is all about power, right? Like pushing out producers off the market and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's I think a good description of it is it shows how capitalism doesn't work fully. That's what I would make out of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Regulated capitalism or capitalism?
I mean, you can really see here that the big competitors, they're trying to like make the market, they're trying to form a market into such way that other competitors are, I don't know how to formulate it. Yeah, sorry, I lost it. Yeah, I don't know anymore.
Well, so the largest company in the world, Saudi Aramco, right, are kind of brought to their knees now because they're actually worth like $2 trillion or worth $2 trillion now because of dropping oil prices. I think they've lost a lot of power, and I think that is really interesting because it shows that there's a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot more young people investing, and I think, or not investing, pulling out. And I think it's really interesting to see how younger people are choosing to invest. Like I've spoken to a lot of people because I almost got Saudi Aramco shares, I think, for Christmas or something. And I told my dad, like, no, I don't want them because I don't want shares in oil. It doesn't seem like a great future ahead. And I was actually talking to some people today about it, and they were saying the same thing. Yeah, like, I don't have any shares in oil because seems like seems like downhill from here.
Yeah, it seems like a really unstable, yeah.
It is a huge part of the economy, though.
It is.
So tough to say.
It is. Yeah, it's a good question though.
Do we have much time left?
Well, we're actually kind of running out of time. So, is there anybody that wants to add to Alexis's question?
No.
No. Everybody's clear. Alexis, do you have anything else to add?
No.
Okay. Then I think we're gonna have to cut the workshop off here. I would like to thank everybody for their participation. And I hope that people who will watch this later, streamed on YouTube, will also find it informative and funny. Again, our workshop was about sustainability. We hope that people actually learned from it. I know that we as a group probably learned a couple things today. I learned a couple things that I wasn't expecting. But again, I would like to thank all of you for your participation. Thank you again.
And I have one thing to add. Let's wave all at the teacher who's watching this.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.